Hi there, this is Vishwa P. Das. Welcome back to my channel. Last session, pointers till void pointer we had discussed, types of pointers and void pointers if you remember. This session we start looking at the topic that is pointers along with functions. Functions, a very important part of C language. Functions we are already familiar with. We know functions, are a building block, especially when it comes to managing a big program. Functions make your program manageable. Now, in functions, what we do, we normally pass parameters, arguments. We, get return values from a function. So functions are extremely important. Now, when pointers are coupled with functions, it becomes even more important because then it becomes even more interesting, even more useful. So let's start with the session, friends. Pointers with functions. Alright, let's start with a very simple example. But before I go there, just one thing, that is, when I talk about pointers with functions, first of all, I need to know how a function is called. A function is normally called in two different ways. Function calls, when I'm talking about function calls, we have two different ways to call a function. Call by, if you remember, call by value and call by reference. Alright, these two we know. Those of us who know C language, we know call by value, call by reference are two different methods of calling a function. When passing parameters, we are saying, these two words, value and reference, we are using when you are passing parameters. When you say value, call by value, you are passing copies of variables. When you say call by reference, you are passing address of variables. Reference means address. With examples, we will understand how they work. But remember these two before we jump into examples. Alright, pointers with functions. I'll start with a very simple example of how it is used. Then we elaborate how it is used, and then we move into other examples. Alright, so let's go on with it. Let's look at the first slide, first example. Look at the examples of call by reference, which I mentioned to you just sometimes back. There is a function called process function which takes one argument, and look at that argument. That is important, you need to understand at that point. If you look at the prototype of the function, you will find we are saying we are passing int asterisk. We are used to passing integers, characters, float, double values directly. So when we do that, we say only int, but here we are saying int star. What do we mean by that? We are saying process function will take one integer pointer as argument. That means what? That means one integer address as argument. Alright, address of an integer. Then get into main function. We have a variable x with a value 243. Okay, the moment we declare x, look at the diagram to the right. The moment we declare x, x is declared at a particular location and it will hold a value 243. Alright. Now, got that? I'm sorry, the value is 234. Alright. Now, when we call process function, we pass the address of x as argument, and that's what I was talking about. I say it will take an address as argument. So you are passing the address, and remember, when you pass an address, what you need to hold the address, you need a pointer. Understand that? Okay. Now, understand one thing. This will go on into the next line, that is printf. After calling the function, we are calling the function, and after calling the function, we are printing the value of x. Alright, so that is the process function. Got it? Then get into process function. Below that, where you have asterisk p is a pointer of integer type int star p. Okay, p is a pointer of integer type, and remember you are passing the address of x, which is an integer variable. So integer address into integer pointer, and inside that function we are saying star p equal to star p plus 100. Value at p equal to value at p plus 100. P holds the address of x, so value at x will be changed. It will 100 will be added to the current value, and the value becomes how much? 334. The value earlier was 234, now it becomes 334. It's a very simple example. Now let's go back to the board and understand two things over here which are important. Alright, I come back to the board. Look at that. When you are passing, when you are saying you are passing that address, alright, you said ampersand x. This is what you, while calling process function, you call like this, isn't it? Now, I have already given you the diagram, but here again, imaginary x variable at address, let's say 100 is the address. There I have given a different address, but you know, don't worry about that. X having a value. What is the value? What was the value which we had for x? 234. So here it will have the value 234. And when we are passing, we are saying ampersand x. That means what we are passing? We are passing 100. This 100 we are passing when we call the process function. And remember, in process function, when we say this word process function doesn't have any return type. Word process, in bracket here we say int asterisk p. Now look at this and look at this. This, when we are passing the address of x, which is called the actual argument. What it is called? Actual argument. Okay, and when we receive it, you know, very simple. If you have oil, to put oil you need a container, to put rice you need a bag, things like that. When you are passing the address of an integer, to receive it you need a pointer of integer type. So p here will receive this address. Now p is called formal argument. Formal argument. So what happens here? P will receive the address of 100, address of x, that is 100, and when you say value at p, star p, whenever you say, it simply means value at 100. So value at 230, value at 100, which is 234, you are adding a value to it, so that value will be changed. Got it, friends? Well, so now let's go back to our discussion. See, this call by value and call by reference. The basic difference between the two. I said in the beginning, I said there is something called call by value, there is something called call by reference. So now the basic difference between the two, to understand, let's take a very time-tested example. An example which is taken almost always. That example is swapping the value of two variables. Alright. So let's now look at a program, in fact we will look at two examples. One using call by value, another using call by reference. Let's look at these two examples, and both the examples are based on the same concept, that is swapping the value of two variables. But in one we are using call by value, in the other we are using call by reference. Have a look at it. The first one. This is call by value for you. Okay. Now you have a function, swap function. It takes two integer type arguments and it has a return type of void. Okay. In main function you are accepting two values from the user. Okay. And I am assuming the two values are 100 and 200. Alright. Those two values we are accepting from the user. Okay. Then we are passing those two values to the function swap function, and this is call by value. So what we are passing, when you are saying swap x comma y, we are passing the values. Remember that we are simply passing 100 and 200. Now those were the actual arguments, swap x comma y when we said. 100 and 200 are the actual arguments which are integer type values. Now look at swap function. Swap function has two variables of its own, p and q. So obviously p will receive the value 100 and q will receive the value 200. Got it? Now you have a variable temp inside the function. You said temp equal to p, p equal to q, q equal to temp. Mind it, when you are doing this, where you are changing the values, let's on the board, let's practically look at what you are doing. Okay, you have you have those variables inside the program. You have those variables x and y. Okay, so x and y belongs to main function. Those are the two variables, x and y. Let's say x is at a location 1100, y is at a location 2100. These are locations, imaginary locations. X is having a value, y is having a value, x is having a value 100, y is having a value 200. Assuming that is what input is given by the user. So x holds the value 100, y holds the value 200. Now try and recall the function call. The function call was this: swap x comma y, actual arguments. What are you passing? You are passing the values. What does that mean? You are simply passing 100 comma 200. Mind it, these are values you are passing. Now go to swap function. Swap function, as I said, having its two variables p and q. So assuming these are p and q, which belong to swap function. This is p, this is q. P is at a address 5000. Let's say q is at address 6000. Alright. Now 100 will be received by p. So p will have the value 100. Mind it, it's a value p is having because p is an integer type variable. Q will have the value 200 here. Got it? Okay. And you have a third variable, that is temp. Okay. Let's say at the location 7000. Okay. Now the code says what? Temp equal to p. So temp holds the value, gets the value of p, that is 100. P equal to q. So p gets the value of q, that is 200. Q equal to temp. Q gets the value of temp, that is 100. So where the swapping took place, the swapping happened in p and q. Look at main function, x and y are still as they were. No changes. Because they belong to main function, they don't belong to swap function. So when you go back into main function and print the values of x and y, what it will print? It will print the same values, isn't it? This is a classic example of how Caldwell value really works. But what was our purpose? Our purpose was to swap the values of x and y, not p and q. Remember that? So let's jump to the second example. We will take up the same problem, and now we will use call by reference. Have a look. Look at swap function first. What kind of arguments? Integer pointer. Both are integer pointers. Okay. Int star, integer pointer, address of integers. And when we call swap function, how we are calling? Again, same scanf statements, x and y, we get the values 100 and 200. Okay. We accept the values from the user, after which we call swap function, and look at what we are passing. We are passing the address of x and address of y. That is called by reference. And look at swap function. It has two pointer type variables as formal arguments, p and q. P and q can hold addresses. So p will hold the address of x, q will hold the address of y. Got it? And then the swapping with the third variable, that is temp. Got it? Now let's practically understand the difference between the two, how this happened. Okay, let's look at that. Okay, first of all, swap, we said this, swap ampersand x comma ampersand y. So what are we passing? Remember last time we were passing the values. Now we are passing the addresses. So what are we passing? 1100, 2100. The address of X and address of Y. And remember, try to recall the example, or you can go back to the slide again. In there, we had in the function, sub function, I had two pointer type variables, P and Q. Okay. Now P and Q, assume they are now pointer type variables, and what they can hold? They can hold addresses. So now P and Q will not hold values, rather they will have addresses. P will have the address of X, that is 1100, and Q will have the address of Y, that is 2100. And of course you have a variable temp as usual. Now when you say the first statement, try and recall, temp equal to asterisk P. This was the statement, temp equal to asterisk P. This was the statement, right? What happened? The moment you say this temp equal to value at where P is pointing, P has the address 1100. So value at 1100 is how much? 100. So temp will have the value 100. Got it? Then it is asterisk P equal to asterisk Q. What does that mean? Value at 1100 will be replaced with the value at 2100. Value at where Q is pointing. Q is pointing at 2100. So value at 1100 will be replaced with the value at 2100. That means this 100 will be replaced with 200. And finally, you have star Q equal to 10. Asterisk Q equal to 10. Value at 2100 will be equal to the value at 10. So this becomes 100. And the swapping is done. So got call by reference, friends. This is how it happens. Alright, simple example of how this call by reference and call by value are working, and the difference between the two, call by value and call by reference. Got it? Now, call by reference has its own advantages and disadvantages, friends. Okay, let's have a look at this slide and understand what are the advantages and disadvantages of call by reference and call by value. Have a look at the slide. First of all, we are talking about call by reference. Okay, call by reference. Of course, call by value, the disadvantage is, let me tell you, call by value, the advantage is, you are not by mistake, even you cannot change the values of the original variables. That is one advantage you get. But the disadvantage is, if a function tries to change the value of another function, it can't do that. Okay. Now, here I have, in this slide I have mentioned the disadvantages and advantages of call by reference. Look at the first one. That is the advantage. It allows to change the actual arguments, which I was talking about just now. It helps to return multiple values. You can return multiple values from a function. I'll talk about it after this. Okay, you can return multiple. Remember, a function can return only a single value at a time. So here we are talking about returning multiple values from a function. Okay, but what is the disadvantage? The actual arguments which you are passing cannot be constants and expressions. That is a big problem. You cannot have constants and expressions as actual arguments when you pass them. But in call by values, that was possible, very much possible. I can send expressions as argument, I can send constants as arguments. Okay, because the address is not there, no, that's what is written over there. Okay, dereferencing, you are doing dereferencing. So dereferencing, it's a bit slow, because you are not directly accessing the variable through a via media you are accessing, so obviously it will be a bit slow as a process. Got it? So clear now, friends, about the advantages and disadvantages of call by value and call by reference. Now I was talking about passing multiple values, I'm sorry, receiving multiple, returning multiple values from a function, more than one value from a function. Let's look at this example. Okay, have a look. Look at the function. Get function has takes two arguments. One is an integer pointer, another is a double pointer. Address of an integer and address of a double. You have two variables a and b. Okay, you are passing that to get function. The address of both the variables a and b you are passing to get function. Get function is a very simple example. Get function has two pointers c and d. C will get the address of a and d will get the address of b. When you say asterisk c equal to 72, what do you mean? Value at where c is pointing. C is pointing at the variable a. So now the value at where c is pointing is changed to 72. Remember earlier a had a value 0. So now the value becomes 72. Similarly, d value becomes 175. This is a very simple example of how exactly multiple values can be written from a function. But wait, actually this is not going to solve our purpose in great extent, because you are not returning multiple values. Actually from the called function you are changing multiple values, isn't it? And that we say returning values. No, actual returning values, when you say returning, because see, a function is designed to return a single value, it can never return multiple values. But what I can do, I can return something called an array. I can return something called a structure containing multiple values, or for that matter I can return a string or an array of structures. Alright, that is when we talk about actually returning multiple values. That in some other session I'll talk about. Got it? So friends, this session we mostly talked about what? We mostly talked about call by value and call by reference, the difference. This is extremely important, friends, because to understand pointers properly, you need to understand the calling methods of a function, because functions all the time you will be using, throughout you will be using, and whenever you use functions, most of the time we will be using pointers also for advantage, of course. All right. So this for this session, it is this much. Well, friends, signing up for this session. Meet you in the next session. See you in the next session. Till that time, take care.